Maud had always enjoyed dressing Nancy up. Now, as her daughter approached her 18th birthday, it was clear she was going to be an even more enjoyable project. Maud's delicate fairness and Sir Bash's lanky height had combined to create a peculiar beauty in Nancy. She was slender, with long legs and long, elegant hands. Her features were small, but finely chiselled, her skin pale to the point of translucence, and her hair a thick, tawny gold. Iris Tree recalled that even as a very young woman, Nancy had the quality of crystal, neatly crisp, gracefully turbulent, arrogantly disruptive, brave. She was certainly formed to wear the new fashions. In early 1914, the all-important year of her season, Maud swept Nancy to Paris to shop for her coming-out wardrobe. New dresses for balls and garden parties, hats for Ascot, and a new leopard skin coat, which Maud also had copied for herself. They looked superficially alike, mother and daughter, both blonde, both exquisitely dressed. But even in the rare mutual pleasure of this shopping trip, Nancy displayed signs of intransigence. While Maud tried to persuade her into the large flowered hats and feminine shades she favoured, Nancy insisted on berets and turbans, and on dresses with sharper, bolder colours and cleaner lines. They were small disagreements, but in the months that followed they became more frequent and more profound. The most fundamental battleground between them was Nancy's season. Maud wanted her daughter to shine, as much for the sake of her own reputation as for Nancy's marital prospects. But Nancy decided that the whole thing was a ridiculous charade. She sulked through her presentation at court, as resentful of the demure pink dress she had to wear as the tedious hours spent queuing to curtsy to the Queen. She grew rapidly and ungraciously bored by her round of debutante parties, where, she argued, the same dance bands played to the same set of girls and the same dull young men, whose bland faces were as irksome to her as their vapid conversation among the hydrangeas at supper. Diana had been bored by her season, but she had been better trained to survive it. Nancy, however, saw no reason to conceal her truculence, especially once she had gulped several surreptitious glasses of champagne, bypassing the innocuous fruit cup that debutantes were meant to sip. To her delight, but Maud's dismay, she failed to secure an invitation to the crowning event of the calendar, Queen Charlotte's ball. And the crosser Nancy became at having to endure it all, the more her contempt leaked into her relationship with Maud. She felt it was hypocritical of her mother to care about so meaningless a ritual while parading her association with radicals like Lewis and Pound. The fragile bonds they had forged over the course of the previous year began to fray, as Nancy started to disassociate herself from Maud. Her rebellion wasn't exceptional. Many young women, including Diana, felt an urgent need to define themselves against their mothers. It was part of the restless sense of freedom coursing through London just before the war. Yet Nancy was drawing on a long history of resentment and exclusion, and her antagonism towards Maud was far more murderous than Diana's irritability with Violet. Around this time, she was among a group of friends playing the after-dinner game, Truth, in which each of them were asked to name the person they would most like to see enter the room. In a flat, cutting tone, Nancy answered, "Lady Cunard, dead." Throughout the summer of 1914, she contrived a variety of small rebellions. She turned up late for her mother's soirees, and played truant from her own debutante engagements, sometimes meeting with Diana and her set to go drinking and dancing at the Golden Calf, but more often meeting with her new best friend, Iris Tree. She and Iris had known one another for years, attending a few of the same children's